You're a mum, you're a mum, you're a busy mum. Come listen to the Busy Mum podcast. Life hacks and inspiration for the busy modern mum.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Busy Mum podcast. Just before we get into this interview, I will be releasing new episodes each Monday morning, just like clockwork. Also, if you don't want to miss an episode, subscribe to my iTunes channel, The Busy Mum Podcast. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. Just search The Busy Mum and you should find me there. Now, a word from our sponsor. Do you find that you hop in the shower, you're enjoying the lovely hot water dripping down all over your body, relaxation, no interruptions from the kids, and you think, yeah, I'm going to shave my legs now. You just pick up your razor and it's in just the most rubbish condition. It's rusted, it's full of soap scum or shaving cream, or even your husband has grabbed it and shaved his face and not cleaned it out. Gross. But you clean it out a little bit, you give it a go, and you end up cutting your legs, and now they look worse than when they were just a little bit hairy. Well, now thanks to Pins, the latest and greatest women's leg shaving company, you can have them delivered straight to your door. New razors all the time. But not only do they have razors with 6 blades plus 4 extra cartridges in the pack, but they also have a clear shave gel, which is slippery as hell and moisturizes to boot. The gel also allows you to see exactly what you are shaving, which is great for those pits and private bits. I've been using them now for at least 6 months and am loving it. Check them out at www.pinnspins.com.au. And don't forget to use the Busy Mum podcast code, BusyMum, to get 15% off your first purchase. So Tracy, welcome to the Busy Mum podcast. How are you this morning? Oh, this afternoon, sorry.
I know, it's a bit like that, isn't it? I'm really, really well. I'm stoked to be here. Like, I love talking all things mum life, so
excellent.
Here we go.
Well, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where do you come from? What do you do? How did you start?
Okay, well, I am based in Camden, New South Wales. So it's probably like an hour, maybe just over an hour on a good day from Sydney, CBD. And, yeah, we absolutely love it here. We are here for the lifestyle. Yeah. So we love the slow living. We love the small town vibes. It's kind of like, is it like Neighbours? Everybody knows your name. So it's kind of like that, and we absolutely love it. We have 2 boys. One is about to turn 5. The other is about to turn 2. So it's really full on, but that amazing.
Full on, yeah.
And I'm married to my best friend, my high school sweetheart. Kind of got together when I was 16 years old and never broke up. And he's the love of my life, my partner in crime, and also more recently my business partner at my business Mums with Hustle, because he left his 11-year-long corporate career at Apple. He absolutely loved working for a startup in Australia, like under Steve Jobs, like loved it. Mm-hmm. And he was in Apple corporate, so really building up the Apple culture in Australia, not necessarily the retail side. He left that to come into the business. We've been living our ideal life and our ideal day, we call it, since December of 2017. That's when he left. He really loved his job. Like, most people leave their jobs because they're kind of over it, but he loved it. It was just that he loved the idea of being an entrepreneur, being more present for his wife, for his boys, working from anywhere. That's what we do. We work 3 days a week. The boys go to daycare on those 3 days, and then the rest of the time we're having family time. And, yeah, we just absolutely love it. We're very blessed. It wasn't always like this. I can get into what life was like before that a little bit later on in our chat if you like, but where we're at now, we're very blessed and just absolutely loving life. And I want to hear more people say that about their own life. So.
I know. It's a very rare thing to hear, actually.
Yeah, I know.
That people are loving it.
I feel like sometimes when we say, or someone asks us that question, oh, hey, how are you today? We're almost expected to give a negative answer. Like, we're almost expected to respond with, oh, I'm so busy. Things are so flat out, or oh, you know, I'm so tired. And we're expected to say those things, but people are really shocked when you respond with the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean that everything in your life is perfect all the time. And it doesn't mean that you are full of yourself or you love yourself, or you've got everything like sorted out or whatever. But I think it comes down to gratitude. Like, you need to count your blessings more than you count your problems.
Absolutely.
So if life is good, say that life is good. If you're killing it in business, say that you're killing it in business. It kind of goes against something in the Australian culture, which a lot of people know as tall poppy syndrome, like
yes.
going on about how great things are. Like, we tend to want to support the underdog, and we we glamorize, or we put hero status on the battler type of person and hardship. And I think that's great to an extent, but we also need to celebrate when you're kind of winning in life, because that's inspiring for people as well.
Yeah, I think like my youngest daughter's just started, well, has almost finished kindergarten. It's quite sad, actually. It's like, oh no, I don't ever have any more babies to go through this whole process. But her attitude towards like having her readers and homework was astonishing. She was like so gung-ho, so excited, and she loves reading. And it was a totally different experience with my first kid, who was like, I am not reading anything. And then she would talk to me in a pixie voice the entire time when she was doing her readers. So like that changed, but I've noticed that I thought, oh, maybe my youngest might struggle a little bit. She's socially fantastic, but academically maybe not so. But because she's got that passion and that great attitude, she has been flying through those readers. It's like, wow. I can see it right in front of me, like the negative and the positive, and how they achieve different things. So
yeah. Well, there is like a bit of a life hack for me is just always having that gratitude and coming from that place of optimism, because when you're grateful or when you're able to celebrate wins rather than focusing on the things that you haven't achieved, then that actually gives you really good feelings.
Yeah.
And it's proven, brain science has proven that like the brain is mapping and linking pleasure and celebrating and, you know, rewarding yourself with the experience. And so when we celebrate a win or a pay rise or something significant in our lives, or even something insignificant, if it was a big task and you did it and you got it done and you're feeling great, well, celebrate that somehow. Because it sets you up. Those good feelings create momentum for more doing.
Yeah.
For more doing of more good. And when you wallow, like misery keeps company. Like wallowers hang with followers. Like we all know them, don't we?
Avoid. Pick up those kids quickly and run.
Yeah. So you want to protect your vibe. You want to be high vibing and happy and joyful, and the only thing they're caused by good feelings. So you need to do things that make you feel good.
Absolutely, yeah. And, you know, you are in charge of your own life and the way you design it. So people need to go out there and take that control back. So what were you doing before you started Mums with Hustle? Like, what did you come from a corporate background?
I don't know if I'd say it was corporate, but it was definitely professional. And I was a primary teacher. I was actually an executive primary teacher at a Catholic school. So I was heavily institutionalized, I guess. I went from preschool to primary school to high school to university, back to school to teach, then back to university to do my master's while still being at school and in leadership. So it was full on. Like the transition into entrepreneurship is extreme. Like I have had to reinvent myself from the inside out, really. because school is amazing and I'm very grateful for the education system, but it kind of just sets you up for success as a worker bee, not really for entrepreneurship.
Absolutely not.
So, yeah, I had to kind of undo a lot of what I had been taught to do in the schooling system and also through being an employee myself.
Yeah,
I had to lose the employee mindset to adopt a CEO mindset, and that is constant work. So I'm all about self-development and lifelong learning.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, because I work with my husband as well, so I've got some more questions around that. But I was talking to him one day about the school system, and I'm thinking, well, why do they have bells and why do they have this and that? And Ben was like, oh, Jackee, they set the schooling system up like back in the 1900s or something to train people to respond to those bells and confinement rooms for a certain amount of time, so that when they went into the workforce, that's just what you did. So it's like a very old type of schooling, I think.
Yeah.
Needs to be
grooming you for life.
Yeah.
Which was go out, get a job, be a part of the machine and just be another cog. Exactly. Which is fine if you feel great purpose, and worth in what you're doing. Because we need everyone to be doing all sorts of things to make this world be as amazing as it is. But when that entrepreneurial fire inside of you is bigger than any fear on the outside, then that's when you know, okay, it's time to kind of do my own thing. I have a lot to contribute, and then off you go.
So talk to me about Mums with Hustle. Like, how did that come about?
Oh, that's such a good question. It's so full on, isn't it? What I am at my core is still a teacher. I'm an educator. And basically Mums with Hustle is an online learning hub where I teach mums specifically, but really I've got a male audience as well. About 8% of my audience are male. They listen to my weekly podcast, which is where I'm educating or inspiring women to kind of build their own business by design, like the business that lights them up, that gives them purpose, that sees them having an impact, but a business that is also highly profitable, and sees them living their best life. I said before, our ideal day, our ideal life looked like what it is now, working 3 days a week, because we really love working. Like, that is balance to us, using our brains, creating, helping people. That's so important to us, feeling like fully aligned with our purpose. So everyone's version of success, everyone's ideal life is completely different. It's about helping our students and my online audience kind of figure out, well, what is it that they want? What does their ideal life look like? And then what type of business, or how can you grow and scale your current business so that it gives you that type of outcome? So, Mums with Hustle, it's a place to learn, but I'm huge on community. So it's not just education through like online training or through the podcast, but it's also empowering women through community and peer support, because being your own boss can be very isolating, and building a business while your children are really young can also bring a very unique perspective and a whole other set of mindset work that is required.
Absolutely.
So that's why I've really niched down to that mum audience, because our experience of business and entrepreneurship is going to just be different to someone else that is in that phase of life.
So when your husband came on board, talk to me more about this. Like, what role, like, did you sit down and divvy up the roles that you liked, that you were good at? Like, how do you guys work together?
Absolutely. So bringing him into the business was not because we were like killing it financially all of a sudden with Mums with Hustle so we could afford for him to even leave his job. I really like to be transparent with people about that, because that is not the case. Like, we took a significant hit pay-wise by him leaving that job. But it came down to, again, valuing lifestyle, even if it was only for a year or two, to bring him into the business and kind of have a go at living our ideal life, like from now. And, you know, we were just like, what's the worst case? Maybe he needs to go back to work in a year or 2 years or whatever. He's highly employable, and it would all just be okay. So we got that fear kind of put to the side. And when he came into the business, we really are just so passionate about only working in our genius zones, and that goes for the staff that we employ as well. So it was no different for him. So he loves working with all things tech, so systems, processes. He really thrives with people as well. So a lot of the hiring and training and onboarding of staff, he loves to do all of that. That's like, when he's doing his life's best work. My best work is the face-to-face stuff, the marketing. I can never get enough of it. I really love connecting and being available for my audience. And then also it's my teaching. Like, no, I can't outsource my teaching. I want to, and I have to be the person that shows up and runs the masterclass for my students, or the person that is behind the camera recording the course and being available for Q&As in the student groups and things like that.
Yeah.
And I love doing the face-to-face marketing on Instagram and on Facebook, so I have not outsourced those things at all. It's 100% me posting in the moment, doing the Instagram stories, because I'm building a community. So being at the front of that is very, very important for me.
And how, like you said, you only work 3 days a week. How are you managing just to, like, do you convey that to your audience and your communities that you're available, like, say, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the other days is like my lifestyle days? Is that how you do it?
Pretty much. I mean, I tend to have an Instagram presence 7 days a week because it doesn't feel heavy for me. It doesn't feel like work. So I'm just on there and I'm just being social. And I might post on my Instagram about 4 days or 4 times a week. But again, it feels light, it feels easy. I just feel like I'm chatting with my friends and I'm nurturing relationships. So I don't really count an Instagram post as work. And the Instagram stories, again, I've done it so many times. It feels really natural. I love connecting with people. But in terms of office hours, this is what I mean when it comes to the business by design, so that it gives me the life by design. Like, I have been very conscious about only creating offers or services in my business that actually allows me that flexibility. So I have a course which is an open and closed model. It's not always open. And that's because when I do open the doors, I like to be there and be so present for those students, making myself available more than usual, but only during that specific course time. So that might be 6 to 8 weeks. And then I'm in there doing lives and I'm doing large-scale group coaching and things like that. But then the doors close for 6, 8 months in between, and then I relaunch and open the doors and then I'm there again. So that, I guess, satisfies that. It's having a closed model for my course. And then likewise with my monthly membership, that is also a closed model. So we open, we have an intake, we lock ourselves down, teach, inspire, mentor, coach our audience, coach those students, and then we'll open up the doors again. So, like, I mean, as it is right now, their membership is locked down to the people that are currently in there, but we're going to relaunch and open the doors again come mid-November. And it'll be open for 4 to 5 days, and again we'll close the doors, and then we can be in with our students. But again, I structure my live calls on my work days. I record my podcast with my guests on my work days, but I batch record. It's little things like that. I'm very aware that time is everyone's most precious commodity.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm very savvy. I'm really, really savvy with my time.
Excellent. Well, that's really good. I mean, and when you open your doors, you can tell me, no, I can't tell you that number or not, but how many students are you actually taking in at any one time? Do you cap it, or do you just cap the time that people can come in?
So, yeah, that's a great question. Some online educators and, mentors do cap their numbers. Generally, when they do that, though, they have it's at a higher price point.
Yeah.
Because that's the urgency, that's the scarcity on that offer, and that's part of the value is that it is limited to a smaller group of people. Mm-hmm. Ours is not capped, but yeah, so once we open the doors, you're welcome to come in. So in our first launch, it's the only launch that I've actually had of my Social Method Society. That is our monthly marketing membership.
Yeah. And
that's brand new. But we just had our first launch and we welcomed 308 students into that program in that launch. But, yeah, it really depends. But it's a lower priced offer, I guess. Because it's monthly.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of to be expected as well. We really wanted to make it be accessible for as many people as possible. Mm-hmm. Because prior to that, I was teaching the same curriculum but one-on-one. Yeah. And only help. But then obviously that was a higher price because it's one-on-one.
Yeah.
And we can really go deep when it's only one person's business.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't feel fully fulfilled or aligned with my core mission, which is to help as many mums as possible. I could only help the ladies that managed to fit into my weekly schedule.
Yeah.
I could only coach maybe a maximum of 4 ladies a week. Mm-hmm. Whereas now I can take the same principles and teach it to 300 and have a much bigger impact. And I think that's really exciting. So I've ended the one-on-one coaching, and it's sad because I do love getting to know someone on a really deep level and be strategic in their business and stuff like that. And there are some people that are a bit disappointed.
Yeah, of course.
But, yeah, because, some people just want the one-on-one, but that's not the model I'm doing anymore because it's about the mission, and I'm going to be, helping as many ladies as I can and making it be accessible to them.
Excellent. So describe for us a day in the life of you. So I know you have your family days and then your work days. So what do both of these types of days look like for you?
Okay, so we'll start with the work days. I just wake up when my youngest wakes up because we co-sleep. So he's going to be 2, as I said. I'm still feeding him in the night. If he decides that he wants to wake for a feed, I give him a little feed, but we're both kind of laying there half asleep anyway, or fully asleep. So I kind of wake up when he wakes up. My husband wakes up with my eldest, who likes to wake up first, really early, and they get up, they have their brekkie. Then Jude and I will get up whenever Jude decides, which is generally around the 7 a.m. mark. And then, we just have breakfast together. We have coffees. The boys have their Wheat Bix, and, we just kind of do that. And then they're at school by 8. They're at daycare by 8 a.m. We both drop them off. We both pick them up. The teachers think that that's bizarre. Super rare, I guess. They love it. They're like, what do you guys do that you're both always here at drop off and pick up? And, so we really love doing that. And then we'll come back and we'll either do a very quick workout, maybe 15, 20 minutes, or we'll go for a walk. And that walk is a brisk walk, but it's kind of like a meeting for the day as well, the 2 of us to kind of know what we're doing. And then by 8:30, we're back, we are here and we're working. We're in our beast mode. Yeah. So, the other day I busted out 7 emails that I just put into a brand new welcome sequence for people that have joined the wait list for the next intake of the Social Method Society. Like, I really want to give those people value in every single email. So I sat there and I busted out these emails and I shared tips and shared sneak peeks of the society and made some society resources kind of available to them in the form of like some samples so that they're learning as well, and letting them know when the doors are going to open. So to sit there, go into my beast mode cave and just like bust out these 7 emails, that took me a day. But yeah, that's the type of stuff that we do. Or we're in the society teaching, or responding to student questions in the group, and yeah, things like that. I'm recording podcasts. Yeah, lots of things.
Do you
but
edit your
on
own
a family
podcast?
day?
Sorry to interrupt you there.
We did. Yeah, we did for a long time, but we have a podcast editor overseas. He kind of does that for us now. And that's just because, as I said, like every time we outsource, we feel really sick about it because we're like, oh, it costs that much, or I could just do it myself. But like, really, that's not how you grow and get ahead. If you just keep bubbling along and making sure everything's working, you can never actually grow your business. Mm-hmm. So we outsource things as soon as we can, or even before we're ready. And it always feels scary because you're like, oh, can I afford to bring on that person into the team? But we do it anyway. So we've got an amazing guy that edits our podcasts, and we have a few other people on our team as well that do other things, mm-hmm. Like a graphic designer. We've got 2 amazing ladies that work for us part-time. One is a assistant content creator to myself and also my podcast manager. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is our customer service and community manager. So it's not that's another reason. That's another reason why we can work the 3 days a week, is because we have stretched our money mindset so far. We're like, okay, well, if I was earning X amount per month, X amount per year, how many hours would I be outsourcing? Or what people would I have in this business to help us grow the business? And then we're like, oh, okay, so then that's what we need to be doing now. Because if we keep doing what we're doing now, that's not going to get us to where we need to be. So we think about where we're going to be and where we need to be, and then we're like, what would that entrepreneur be doing? Yeah. Oh, okay, she would hire a designer. Yeah. So then I hire a designer. Yeah.
I get you.
But that doesn't come without some like resistance. Let me keep that very real. I have to like go right into my inner self to try to sometimes like work through those resistances or those blocks, some people call them. Yeah.
It is scary times. Like, we've all done it. It's like, especially when you bring on a new person, you're like, I'm responsible for their wage now and for getting them to do what I need them to do as well. It's really, it's scary. I get it. It's very scary.
Yes. I used to say, okay, so I'm just going to grow this business enough so that it pays me, $49,000 a year, which was like my part-time 5-day fortnight teacher wage. Yeah. And that's enough, because then I also don't have to employ anyone else. Like, I can manage it all because that's all I'll be making. And that was success to me. Yeah. And so I had to really realize that in order to fulfill my actual mission of helping as many mums as possible, like, I had to earn more than $49,000 a year so that I could have the software, the systems, the people to actually like house these courses, these membership sites, like all of that. So it's like, I had to very quickly go back, change my beliefs, change my story, and align it with the person that actually had the mission.
Yeah. Yeah. So then what's, with your mission and changing your mindset, what is the best advice you've received lately?
Lately? I don't know if it was lately. I feel like it was ever. I always come back to beautiful Mother Teresa. A lot of people here lead with love in your business and in your life, but I feel like she said it way before anyone else was throwing that around online. She always said, do small things with great love, and I feel like I try to do that in my life, in my relationship with my husband, like as a wife. I try to do that as a mum, and I try to do that in my business. So small things with great love make all the difference. So if it's an event that you're running in your business, well, it's your level of thoughtfulness for the people that are coming to that event in the small, minute details. And when it comes to motherhood, that phrase to me, small things with great love, that also helps me realize that it's not the quantity or the amount of time that I'm spending with my children. It's actually the quality, because for a long time I had stories in my head that, you know, a good mother is like present and has her, doesn't send her child to care before a certain age, and, you know, she's just around her kids all the time, and she should be really happy in that. But then what I realized is, well, I actually know a lot of mothers that have got that, and they're not fully present, and they are sometimes resentful that the children are always around, or they are not wanting to sit on the ground and play picnics one more time, or watch Peppa Pig one more time. And then it's like, okay, well, that's not being fully present and being happy to be there. Exactly. So you're better off having quality time rather than a huge amount of time. So small things with great love, even bring that into your interactions, I feel, with your children, with your partner, with your family, and, of course, in your business.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's very wise words, Tracy, very wise words.
They're not my words. They're not my words. They were her words. Well, she was a thought leader.
Yeah, she was. She very much was. And are you reading any good books at the moment, or are you watching Netflix or Stan? Are you a binge watcher of any programs?
I so wish I could sound cool and say I'm binge watching something, but I'm not, because I actually don't really watch that much TV. But I did a little while ago. The last thing I watched and I really enjoyed was that show called The Sinner.
Oh, I've watched a bit of it. Yeah. Yeah, she's interesting in that.
She was the director as well. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I was like, oh, power to you, girlfriend, because that was a really intense plot and character. Mm-hmm. And she did it amazingly well. And she's a mom herself. So I was just like, oh, working mom, she's doing the directing, she's doing the acting. Like, this is a real kind of taboo type of role that she's playing as well. It was quite a confronting show. So I did watch that. But, yeah, don't really get much time to watch anything else really. If I'm given the opportunity, I will watch some Sneaky Kardashians. I'm very behind in it, but I will. Like, if you told me I didn't have to do anything right now, go and run a bath, the iPad in there and go and watch some Kardashians, I'll be like, oh, okay, cool, thanks, babe.
I watch the Kardashians whenever I'm on, like, a plane trip.
I actually just, yeah. No, they're good. And again, boss babes. They totally, totally are. And influencers before influencers were even a thing. So I have respect for them. Yeah.
Cool.
And then book-wise, I did just order and I have just received. One of my friends is an incredible entrepreneur. I can't wait to read her book. It's called Permission, and her name is Lauren White. She's actually a sexologist, and she's all about empowering women, but again, transforming themselves from the inside out, because she believes, like, what you believe about yourself and how you're living your life is directly impacting your ability to, you know, be your best sexual being and connect with the love of your life. And so it's really about self-love.
Yeah.
And really, yeah, I think that that's amazing. So I've just got that book, and
So
I'm excited to kind of.
Is the book still in like manuscript mode, or is it actually printed and bound and ready to be?
No, it's like printed. I'm so proud of her. She had to also, you know, when you're working on something really big in your business and it almost feels like you have to pull the plug on everything that you currently have going so that you can just do the next, like do this. Yeah. So she really had to be disciplined and buckle down for, I don't even know, a really, really long time, like almost 2 years, I think, to like conceive and give birth to this book. And so, yeah, no, it's out. Like, I've got a physical copy. It's fairly recently launched, so you can go and check her out. She's a mum as well. Lauren White is where she's over.
See, I'm writing a book at the moment, so I'm up to 13,000 words, so I'm pretty proud that I've got that far. But like, it is a commitment. It's a real commitment, and I think I'm going to have to write it and rewrite it, and you know, I just do a little bit each day, just a little bit each day.
Oh my gosh! Well, you need to head over and speak to Lauren and get her tips for book writing, because she just was so disciplined. But again, small things with great love. She was just like, oh my gosh, I feel so aligned that the words would just flow for her, because she was like, this is it. This is my purpose, and I need to help these ladies.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on to a couple of other questions. Are you cooking most nights? Like, do you do family meals together, and is that part of your life design as well?
Yes, I love cooking. So does my husband. We before the boys came along, we pretty much had like every Jamie Oliver book, and we were like cooking new recipes all the time, and like total foodies, Gordon Ramsay, we love them all. And just last night we actually I cooked with my boys a brand new recipe out of Jamie's Italy book. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like we try to let the boys get involved where we can. Sometimes it's just quicker to just do it yourself. You know what that's like. It's
always quicker to do it yourself, but you're not passing on the skills. You've got to pass on the skills, and that takes longer.
Yeah, they really, really love it. So, we do a lot of home cooking, but we love eating out as well. So we usually eat out twice a week, and one of those will be a breakfast. We love breakfast foods. The boys want their baby chinos. Like, we love it. And then the other one will be a dinner. So today, we're recording this on a Friday, and I'm going to pick the boys up from daycare with Carl, of course, my husband. We're going to pick them up. We're going to go straight to a Thai restaurant and meet one of our friends there, her husband and their little boy. They're friends of ours from Mother's Group from like 4.5 years ago. Wow. And we're just going to have dinner, just us and the kids. And, so that'll be our dinner out. And, no, it's good. We love eating out, but we also love cooking at home. Beautiful. But we never cook just one batch. I have to add that.
Yeah, double batch it.
Because I always double batch it.
Yeah.
Whether the leftovers become the kids' meals the next day, so that we can just work right up to 5 o'clock, go and pick them up. They come home, their dinner's already cooked.
What's one area of your life you would like to improve?
I'm in constant, I just always want to improve my mind-body connection. So I've recently, in the past few months, really gotten into meditation, which is so interesting to me, because I used to be that person that would say, I can't meditate. Meditation doesn't work for me. I have to go to the gym. I have to smash it out. That's my zoning out time. Well, turns out that was just an old story I was telling myself as well, because I have learned to tell myself, I can meditate. This is really good for me, and it can be fun. It doesn't have to be heavy. And I just changed my expectations around what it is and expectations around myself, and I love it. I'm happier, and I'm also just kicking way more ass in my business as well because of it. And then that's led me to yoga. So only in the last 2 weeks have I actually joined yoga. I've signed up to a class. It's a 9-week term. I've done 2 weeks. I am loving it. And anyone listening to this that is already a yogi, this wouldn't be new to them. They would already know this. But yoga is all about that mind, body, spirit connection. And that is what alignment is. And it calls you to step out of your egoic self and realize that you are just a spiritual being with an essence and a purpose. And the body that you are blessed to have is just an earthly body. It is not something that determines your worth. So yeah, I'm just really loving being more in tune with who I am at a soul level. And I feel like that's allowing me to serve my audience and my students so much better as well.
Absolutely. And on the flip side of that, what is your greatest fear and how do you deal with it?
My greatest fear. Such a big question.
I know. Maybe I might take it out. We need a whole another hour.
Yeah, I just feel like dying from this life, moving from this life, not having actually contributed. I think because maybe I was too afraid of what others would think, or I was afraid of failure. And then therefore I died without actually living my best life and helping other people in the process. I feel like that would be a real great shame for me. And just like not going out all empty, like just nothing left. It's all here. I was vulnerable. I made decisions. Yeah. I led with my heart on my sleeve. I took chances and I just fully lived. I think that is an exciting life, and anything less than that is something that I fear.
Okay. Well, I've got 3 quick questions and then I can let you get on with your day. Have you signed up to any websites recently that you actually find value in their emails?
I don't follow too many people because I have several mentors and coaches that kind of help me. And so one of them is my mentor, James Wedmore. So he is definitely about entrepreneurship being more of like an inside job, coming from a place of service, taking imperfect action, and just coming from that, like losing that employee mindset, stepping into that digital CEO mindset. So if that's something that you're interested in, go and check him out.
Yep.
He's very much body, mind, soul type of entrepreneur. Okay. So some people say he's got the Wedmore woo when he talks about manifestation and law of attraction and all of that stuff. But I mean, it's not woo. It's like, it's actually proven now that everything is energy, and you can bring anything into existence if you have the right beliefs.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Very
interesting. I love his email.
What's one piece of advice you would give your pre-baby self?
Oh, I would just say, girlfriend, your body is already telling you everything that you need to do. Okay, that's your intuition. Trust your intuition. Trust your baby as well. Your baby's telling you what they need. And don't worry about the books. Just throw them out.
Okay. What's the most, final question, what's the most useful and useless baby item you have?
I think my most useful items were beautiful stretchy wraps and swaddles, because we love swaddling our babes. And, yeah, a good stretch was really, really important to us. So I want to give a shout-out to a brand called Frankie and Taj, because, yeah, she's one of my students, but she wasn't at the time. And we got one of her stretchy swaddling wraps, and it was the most beautiful organic certified cotton wrap, so stretchy, but also really cool, like a cool alternative print. And we really loved that. And it never lost its stretch. That's always really important. And then another item that I love is it's called a bum cleanser. think, Hello Kiddo, or I can't remember the name. I might have to send it to you so you can put it in your show notes.
No worries. Well, thank you so much, Tracy, for being on the Busy Mum podcast. It's been pleasurable this afternoon speaking with you.
Thank you. It was fun.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Busy Mum podcast. Don't forget to let your friends know, and also subscribe to the iTunes channel, and also my socials if you want to see what I'm getting up to. A brand new episode is out every Monday morning, just like clockwork.